Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Elevated Beauty Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Fouts, and this is my friend Ashley.
Hi.
You guys might have already seen her. It was around Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Around Christmas. Yeah, we did an episode a little while back. But today we're gonna talk about some things that are pretty recent with you. Maybe a little tea. We're not gonna get too much tea.
Yeah, we won't say names.
No, we won't say names. But I think kind of why we wanted to talk about this is because it's informative.
Yeah.
For other people in the industry. So the topic of today's episode, would you say mentors?
Mm-hmm.
Like ethics in mentors,
Yeah.
how to trust a mentor or a business coach. And I actually did an episode months ago on how to find someone that you can trust in a mentor. But I think some of those things that I had talked about in that episode was looking for proof and evidence that the person who's coaching you or mentoring you has done the thing that they're teaching you to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can give us some other things that you might want to look out for and what your experience was with your most recent, business coaching. So I'll let you kind of take the mic a little bit.
Well, I own a salon in Sierra Vista, the Babe Cave, and it's fairly new. I've only been running it for about a year. Other than that, I did like the sole ownership or on my own kind of thing. And so I took like this huge leap of faith in 2023, and I was thriving off of I was just totally going off of like this whole like motivational thing, because I think that's kind of like what led me to my decision in the first place, was like this whole like you can do it, and so that led me into a bunch of other entrepreneurs who were extremely motivational. So I started falling into like this rabbit hole of like entrepreneurs and people that I admired and looked up to. I called them like my little fake friend group, and I still do. I still admire them. I still think of them as mentors in my fake friend group. But one in particular stuck out to me. And it was after I had went to a business conference, and there was 28 different speakers, and this one person in particular just was like on fire, amazing, like all the things that I wanted to be. And so I started to kind of aspire to be a little bit more like her. And so I started, emulating the things that she does, following the social media is following workshops offered and things like that. So I want to say it was September, I took a workshop, and I was asked if I wanted to join a higher, I'm not going to say what it is, but a higher mentorship program. And I was honored to have even been selected to apply for it. So once I applied for it and they chose me, that felt even like more of an honor. And so I was like 100% like, this is meant to be, like the universe is speaking to me. Like, it's a very, very expensive program. Now, I had done my research, and I know that like taking like higher mentorships or masterminds, they can be very, very like costly.
Yeah.
And some of the people that are like even higher up like in the industry, like I'm talking like the people that are tens of millions of dollars, like they're paying like $100,000 a year.
And I have a question. So obviously, like, this person, would you say was like a hero to you a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Definitely.
How do they, because a lot of people, I'm sure they see that price tag and they're like, ooh, what was the move that made you feel like this investment is totally going to be worth it? How did they sell that to you or convince you that it was going to be worth it?
Yeah, so this person was talking about their mentorship program that they were and are a part of, being way more than that. It was like I had said, like over $100,000 a year for basically a higher education. The way I looked at it, it was almost like going to college. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to pay high prices for education, and so
and they were giving you a comparison of like, this is what I paid for this, and this is what you're okay.
And it's only this much. It's like literally
compared to this.
Yeah. That was exactly how it was put to me, and so I was like, okay. Now, what happened when I got on the phone with the coach? The coach was telling me, tell me your story. He was like, tell me your story, and so I did, and he was just like, wow.
Really engaged.
Wow, that's amazing. This is going to be perfect for you. So it's speaking to my soul, and he's just telling me, like, I think you're going to go far once you take this program and you get, like, basically the meat and potatoes of, like, this whole, you know, experience. Like, you're going to blow up next year, especially with your story.
So it sounds like to me you're, like, bombed with charismatic energy in the beginning.
Yes. Yeah. However, as much as I want to take this opportunity and do all the things, I was really, like, skeptical. I was a little skeptical of myself. Like, did I trust myself to make this investment? Yes, I thought it would benefit me, and I believed it would take me where, you know, they were telling me it was going to take me. However, knowing that I'm still, like, new into my business, and I've got, you know, my own fires that I have to put out, I'm still trying to navigate it and structure it, and I'm constantly, like, learning new methods, and it's a very baby thing, so it's constantly these baby steps. And so with that being said, it was kind of like, can I take another thing on and trust that I'm going to put in the work? Because it's like a
did
university.
You express those concerns to them?
I did, yes. So, and I did express this to him. I said, I just feel like this might not be the time for me. And he was like, well, you know, the enrollment ends in a couple of days. So you have a couple of days, because once the enrollment ends, there's not going to be another opportunity.
Was that true?
No.
So something that I want to say to that point, Raya with Bosses in Beauty, I saw a post that she made a few days ago I thought was amazing, and it really made me trust her even more as a mentor, apart from all the great things I've heard about her. But she made a post that said, here's the reasons why you should not go solo as an esthetician. Like, if you're, I don't remember what all the reasons were, but she was going through valid reasons, and she was like, if you're not ready to do this, if you need certainty in your income, this, it's not time for you.
Yeah, I wish that I would have had that.
Yeah.
And it's not, like, here's the thing is, like, I'm not somebody who wouldn't revisit it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are like that. Like, I am somebody that would keep that in my little basket of, like, this just doesn't work for me, but that's a great opportunity I'd like to come back to. I feel like that's more authentic, it's more real, and I think I would have benefited way more from it had I had that opportunity. However, it was just kind of slung to me, like, if you don't take it now, you're never going to get this chance again.
Like,
and
fear.
It was. Yeah. So I talked to my husband, and I just was kind of like, this is what's going on. The person, this higher up person, DM'd me and was like, oh my gosh, I heard you're joining our team. It felt...
So this was the hero, the one that you
hero,
looked up to.
yeah.
Okay.
So not the coach that was trying to, talk me into purchasing the membership, but the actual star.
Yeah.
And so of course I was like, holy... I don't know if I can cuss on here, but I'm
you can
holy
cuss.
shit.
Girl, have you listened to my episode?
I actually have, yeah. So I was like, wow, oh my god, I cannot believe this person is reaching out to me. Like, I felt so special.
Yeah.
So that was a bonus point for me too, because it was like, they take the time to consider you, to make you feel important, and that was a good sign to me. I talked to my husband and I was like, everything is so right, and I was in tears because I was telling him, I know that now isn't the time for me, but I am, like, this is like a validation to me that I'm on the right track.
You felt seen.
I did. I felt seen, and I felt like I am doing this, taking the steps that I need to be taking right now, because this opportunity has landed. Now, I knew it wasn't the right time for me, because financially and time-wise, I just couldn't do this, but I knew that the universe was giving me this as a sign, like, hey, you're keep going on the track you're going. Eventually this is going to be a right time and financial and all the things for you, so just keep going. And I needed that validation because I was feeling very much like lost, like what direction am I supposed to be going on? So it was perfect. A lot of things were aligning at that time. It was just a perfect concoction. So my husband and I, we talked about it. We both agreed that it was flattering, but it just wasn't the time financially for us to take this step.
Okay.
So we got back on the phone with the coach, and we laid out our, thank you so much for this opportunity, and we're thankful, but we're gonna pass right now. And he was like, oh, again, well, this opportunity is not gonna present itself again, so this is it or not. And I had accepted it was okay if it didn't present itself again. Like, it just was nice to be seen, like you said. And so the next thing I know, he's really talking to my husband and not to me anymore.
He's trying to convince you of something that you were.
He's trying to convince him, because he thinks that the reason that the shift in, him tooting my horn and all of that, like the reason that I'm like not pursuing it anymore was because of him. And my husband did this crazy thing where he was like, well, if we didn't have to pay the full amount in front, maybe we'd consider it. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you an offer then. I'll give you a payment plan that was before that non-existent. Yeah. And the next thing I know, my husband's like, done, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and you're like, okay.
I'm telling you, I didn't hear anything more that went on in the conversation. Like, there was like this ringing in my ears where you're,
I mean, Chris was coming from a place of love and support,
100%.
So.
And honestly, this was one of like the coolest moments in my marriage too. Yeah. So I still feel like it all needed to happen. Like it really did, because I just stopped listening. He gave the credit card information. They kept talking, but I zoned out, and there was like a lump in my throat. Like I thought I was gonna puke.
Right.
I was on the verge of crying, and
I mean, you just bought a car.
Yeah, literally. So I just wasn't in that position. So when we hung up, it all just whoosh, like came out, like tears, and I'm just like sobbing. It was the weirdest experience. And he was like, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? He's like rubbing my back, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what we just did. And he said to me, he was like, Ashley, he's like, I believe in you so much. He goes, I know that you're going to take everything from this and make more out of it. He's like, you're amazing. Like, it was honestly like one of the sweetest moments in my entire marriage.
And even though the course or the mentorship, the coaching, like, didn't go how you wanted, you still, like exactly what Chris said, you're taking what you learned from it and applying it. So you're still like, oh, there's a lesson. I know you think that way too. Like, there's a lesson learned with anything, and it's character building, and it's
100%. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what this was. This wasn't. This was an opportunity to learn from a mistake, and any time in any entrepreneurship, you're going to run into failure, and it's just
obstacles,
obstacle, and it's a moment to pivot.
Yeah.
And I did take that moment to pivot after about 4 months of doing this membership. I learned that I really wasn't gaining anything from it. I was a part of the group, and the group held about 266 people, I want to say. And I wasn't being seen like I thought I was going to be. I would make posts, and I mean, I had cool stuff coming up, because this was a group that was mainly focused on like media. So people who are getting on the news or doing a show or an interview or a podcast or whatever. So I was like posting like, hey, I'm going on a reality TV show, and I was getting very like the same responses to anything. Like, hey, I'm going on a show. That's awesome. You rock. You go, girl. Like, anytime I would post, it was the exact same thing. And it felt like there was no private messages. There was no, like, shout outs or, and for a group of 266, I do think that's a pretty small group.
Yeah.
I felt like there could have been a lot more. And the fact that I was overwhelmed with work, that I wasn't able to join the lives and the things. I just really felt like why weren't they reaching out to me?
Yeah.
I felt very unimportant in a group that I was supposed to feel so important in. You know what I mean? And so I just learned really quickly that this was going downhill really quick, and what confirmed it was another member of the group reaching out to me feeling the same as I was feeling. So we started to kind of connect over, you know, how we were feeling. I learned that she paid the total amount up front, that she had asked to do a payment plan, but that wasn't an option. Now, I will say, it is set up a lot like a course system, so there is still benefits that I can gain from this mentorship or membership. Like, they have classes and things that you can go on and take, like, you know, watching YouTube channels. Kind of the same thing, you know what I mean? But I was paying a lot of money.
And it really does sound more of a membership than a business coaching or a mentorship.
There wasn't anything personal. There wasn't one-on-one. No.
Which is ridiculous to me. Like, because was it marketed as a business coaching or a mentorship?
Yeah. And the business coaching was that this person would get on there and it was like kind of like put out there like it was supposed to be like a one-on-one situation. This person was going to get on there and have a one-on-one with you, but the one-on-one was actually a Zoom call with all the members.
Yeah, and so what they actually did was they put you in a Facebook group where you got quote-unquote connection, if you were lucky, with other members, not with the actual mentor.
Yep. Exactly. And the mentor, I mean, I loved listening to what they had to say, like the hero mentor. I really did learn a lot of valuable information from, you know, the Zoom calls with this person, but that was it. And it didn't feel personal for somebody who was paying a lot of money to be a part of it.
If I'm paying a lot of money, I would want specific help, like with my specific issues.
Exactly.
Not a generalized, you know?
So then it was like impossible to get a hold of anybody at this point in time. I'm like, I'm canceling, I am ending it, I'm going to do it amicably.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to be drama and I don't like to be ugly, and so I wasn't going to just like withdraw my card and be like, yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
So I tried to reach out, and it was like all of a sudden I started getting cold shouldered. It was like they were responding to me but sending me down a different, like, you're going to have to reach out to this person, and went from being like that main coach that I had the, you know, phone call with, like being like, oh, you're so amazing, you're so great, to me being like, hey, how do I end this? You're going to have to reach out to so-and-so. Yeah. Not like I'm sad, like, is there anything I can do? Like, how do we keep you? And then when I reach out to so-and-so and I'm like, hey, I'm really unhappy, I'm not reaching any benefits. In fact, it's costing my business a lot of money and I'm not gaining anything from it. Well, you already signed a contract. And it was like nobody was saying, what can we do to help you? You're asking for tens of thousands of dollars.
And the thing here, what sticks out to me is there's a lack of passion and care, and ethics and morals as well, but passion and care. If you were really passionate about serving people and helping people, you would not have that response.
No.
You would be, what can I do to help you? How can we make your experience better? Like, that makes it so clear that the only thing that's driving them is money.
Oh, 100%. Purely. And it was a sad reality. I went and deleted the post that I made about being so excited about this person reaching out to me. I have a different taste in my mouth for the whole person.
And we've talked about this before, like, you should never meet your heroes in person, or like you should never really get to know your heroes. And that's so applicable here, because you could value like what she or this person stands for, but when it gets down to it, people aren't always who they present to be.
No.
And there's so many mentors, like we all know, and I think it's a good thing, but there's so many like virtual mentors, business coaches, and a lot of people are really just in it for money. And people are able to market their self as something that they might not truly be, may or may not. Just too much like over promising and then under delivering when it comes to this area of like business coaching and mentoring.
I agree. Which is maybe why this needed to happen, because it is like, that's the next level that I'm trying to take my business is into like a teaching, mentorship, more so with like beauty courses and things like that. I really feel passionate about helping other women, and you know, and so that's like where I'm trying to go. So maybe this needed to happen so that I can learn what not to do, who not to be. I want to be there to support people and watch them grow and help them build some, you know, success within themselves. But I just learned that that was just a really not my way. And you know, I started seeing red flags kind of in some of the things like right after I had signed everything, and it was just kind of like you know, a quick briefing on like how to handle your media, your social media, whatever, and it was a very like, in my, you know, the way that I kind of perceived it was a very like fake tone, just reply to reply, just do this, just be kind so that it can have a favor returned. Like that was some of the things that were like taught in the very beginning, and I was kind of like,
so they were teaching you to be what's the word, inauthentic,
basically,
for a result that you
and
want.
at that time I just was like, okay, I'm like taking notes and stuff, but like, you know, obviously now reflecting back, I'm like, obviously that's a whole character, you know what I mean? Like that's who I was like involved with at this point.
The difference is when you are really a good person and you're passionate about what you do, those things that they're teaching you do not come inauthentic to you.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's obvious that it might be inauthentic to that person because they really aren't in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly. What ended up happening was I was not able to cancel my membership fully because of the contract I signed. Now, I can take my card off file, but like I said, I don't want to be that person. So they, after me pushing and pushing and pushing, finally somebody reached out to me with lots of attitude. It was very cold. Like I said, it wasn't like I'm so sorry you're feeling this way. What can we do to help? It was, hey, you signed a contract, so you're not getting out of this, but this is the best deal we can offer you. And they lowered the payment price, and basically they gave me all the same stuff except for I can't join the lives, which I wasn't able to join anyways because of my work schedule.
And all that's crazy to me because you guys know I have the esthetician guide, I have my little podcasting guide, because I'm doing mentorships. But if someone came to me and was like, hey, I'm missing something from the esthetician guide, or I need more help on this, I'm not getting what I feel like, I would be like, okay, how can I help you? I would give that constructive criticism and implement it to make it better.
Yes.
And that was not happening for you.
No. Not in the beginning, not any time through the course of it, and definitely not at the end. I will say that somebody finally reached out to me. Oh, that was the other part, is they were blaming me, saying it was my fault because I wasn't setting up the virtual calls with them. However, I thought this was my fault, but I had been setting them up and scheduling them on a Zoom call, and then I would never receive a link. I thought that was something I was doing wrong, so I was blaming myself. And I was sending emails saying, I don't know what's going on, I keep scheduling it, but when I check my email, there's no link. But of course, nobody's getting back to me.
So they never sent you the links for the videos that they blamed you for missing?
No. And when I had reached out in the group expressing this, they were very quick to be like, Ashley, we have reached out to you multiple times in emails, and you're not setting up this call that you need to be setting up. Like, I'm not real tech savvy, and I don't know what I'm missing. Like, is there supposed to be an email that like shoots right to me after I set up the... No. Now I know how it works. Now, after I've expressed how I'm feeling through emails to them, saying like, I went out, I'm really unhappy, you guys aren't serving me at all, I'm serving you, y'all ain't serving me. Then all of a sudden, I set up one, and sure enough, boop, I get an email.
Yep.
With a confirmation link. So I followed through, and I did go to the Zoom call, and I went prepared to be kind of bitchy, because that's what I kind of do. Like, I feel like if you push me, you push me, you push me, and then I'm finally like, you're gonna get a version of me that's, I call it like my lawyer stance, where it's like, I'm very quiet and calculated because I'm like racking up valid points in my head, and so now I've got like valid points and I'm ready to like serve them.
Yeah.
However, she came on there, she went from being like her cold way in these messages to like, oh yeah, I'm really sorry it's not working out, like I want to offer you this, and you're still gonna have access to XYZ, but just not this, but if there's anything you need help with, like please like reach out. And I'm like, oh my god, of course, like she's being nice now. Yeah. I have access to all these courses. In fact, if you want to take some we can take some together. And it's cool. Like the courses are cool. I like what it goes over. Like if there's something specific that I need help with, I can go over it. But instead of paying thousands a month, because that's what I was paying, thousands a month, I'm now only paying a couple $100, and I'm only missing out on these live Zoom calls. However, I can watch the replays.
Yeah.
So I'm just not able to go live. Tell me how they rationalize the price difference for the one missing thing.
Yeah. Because they're making numbers up out of their head.
The math isn't mathing.
Yeah. But why do you think they under-delivered their promise to you? Do you think they did not have
I think it's a new thing for them. I think that right now they are probably also a new business. This is a new business avenue for them, and they're, probably working out the kinks. And I'm sure in time it'll be hopefully a beautiful situation for an entrepreneur to get involved in. However, as any new business, when you are in that new stage of working out your kinks, you cannot be having those prices.
Honestly, I can't give them the benefit of the doubt though, because when I released my esthetician guide, I sent it to multiple estheticians to test out those kinks.
You sure did, yeah.
To see the reception.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they should have been able to do that with their thing as well.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it at someone else's expense.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And what's wild to me is there's so many people that are like still like all hype about this, like, because I follow some of the people, like we follow each other on social media and whatnot, and it's like they seem so like happy with the whole program and whatnot, but it's like I'm not seeing, and I'm not trying to be mean, I'm like trying to word this without sounding like an asshole, but it's like I'm not seeing like where they're like benefiting from it either.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're holy shit blowing up and it's like it's gone crazy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and I'm seeing these people putting in a lot of hard work. You know what I mean? All it would take is for this one person, the mentor, the hero, to post us on her story.
Yeah.
Just shout us out. Great job, so and so.
Like,
look at her business. They killed. Yes, exactly. You're paying a lot of money. Like, you have those followers because of us. You have that money in your bank account because of us.
Yeah.
And in your own hard work, because they have created other businesses and established themselves. So I'm not saying it's all completely just the people in this mentorship, but right now, like, you're staying afloat because
people know that your fans market for you.
Exactly.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This person knows that.
Yes.
And so what's interesting to me also, we mentioned in the beginning, proof and evidence that this person has done the thing that you want to do.
I think that they have managed and ran their own businesses successfully, or whatever. They have the knowledge to speak on some of the topics that they're speaking on. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that they're like like masters of this. They hang out with a crowd that is up there, so I get the clout chasing and all of that, but no, not to the degree that I feel like that they're
because some people are really good at making you believe something and motivating you, and that can be enough sometimes for people to say, okay, I trust this person, I believe this person, but then maybe you think about it, you're like, okay, can this person actually help me with this thing that I have going on? Like, can they actually lead me in the right direction?
And it's like, what value are you seeing in me? Because if you're seeing like this value, like, oh my god, you have to sign with this, I want to know why.
Yeah.
Now it's become a new thing, like with people, because I'm sure you know too, being an entrepreneur, running your own business, having social medias and stuff, now it's happening a lot more. People will be like, oh yeah, coaching, we'd like to take you under our wing and do this. And I'm like, it's now a question that I ask, like, what are you seeing in me?
And I want to know specifically, and I expect whenever I am looking for anyone to invest in, I want to see, this is what you get from investing in me. I will help you to expand your business, going through the process of leading a team, hiring employees. I want to see specific things. If you can't list to me what you're actually going to help me with, what your area of expertise is, then it throws up a little bit of a red flag for me, as it should.
I 100% agree. And I will say, you know, I did, during this time, this whole process, I did go on that show, The Blocks. And Wes Bergman is, some people know him, I mean, especially like my generation, my age, like if we grew up watching The Real World and The Challenges, you probably know who he is. He went from doing the challenges to creating this like business of like helping entrepreneurs while growing a business, and it's very, very successful. And it was like the opportunity was presented, like you're going to be on a reality show, so already you feel like you're gaining something from it, and you are. However, when I went into it, I gained even more. Like, I thought the hype of the whole thing was going to be being on the reality show. Like, I'm going to be able to at least use that clout and be like, hey, my business was, you know, on a reality show.
Yeah.
But when I went on there, I learned, like, it was way more about
you have
the
access to this community of entrepreneurs now.
Yeah. And yeah. The group that you formed, the judges, even him himself, like, he was so great about making, at one point, you know, I went up to introduce myself and was like, hi, I'm Ashley. And he was like, almost like, duh. Yeah. You know, he was like, I know who you are.
Because he cares.
He cares. He was like, you own the Babe Cave in Arizona. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. You know me? And he was like, are you kidding me? Yes, I know you. He's like, you're here because of me. And I was like, that made me feel so freaking special. And, like, you were truly chosen to be here, and you were selected because we want to help you grow your business. Not just because he wants his business to grow. Yeah. Not because, you know, anything else, but he genuinely wants to see entrepreneurs kill.
And that's the core of building community, is like, I can probably say this about the one that didn't go, the mentorship that didn't go like you wanted. Their community was there to serve them. Yeah. But in reality, a healthy community is there to serve each other. Yep. Like, your community is there to serve you, you're there to serve your community. It's a give and take.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the huge take home. That was the lesson between all of it. And that's why I feel like when I came back from this experience, that I was like, it was as clear as day. Like, I need to leave this other program or take a step back. Yeah. Because that was, like, I learned, like, this is what true mentorship is supposed to look like, and I'm not getting that over here. At one point, I had reached out to the group when I was mid-filming for the show, and this was another telltale sign for me. I was struggling, and I was feeling, you know, the comparisonitis, and not, you know, struggling with self-worth, because I think as entrepreneurs you do that from time to time. And I just felt not good enough, and I ordered pizza in my room, and my husband fell asleep, and I literally sat on the floor eating pizza, just like sobbing. I just was like, why am I here? I don't deserve to be here. I should just go home tomorrow. And I really was like struggling, and so a little bit of irritation mixed with that caused me. I had a photo for attention, which was me being interviewed by one of the judges, and the caption was, I'm struggling here, guys. I don't know what to do. I need all the help I can get, you know. Basically going into elaborating a little bit more about what was going on, but not giving away too much. And it took about 10 hours for a single response. Wow. And the responses started coming in were like, you rock, you got this, you go girl. And I'm like, I'm literally asking for advice. Yeah. Like, I need help.
What can I do to, like, oh my gosh.
I'm saying, like, I'm here, everybody's amazing.
There was nothing for them to give you. They didn't have anything to give you.
And one of the biggest things that they talk about is, in this group, mentorship, is like the struggle with comparisonitis. That's actually a word that I picked up from them. And I used that word, specifically used that word. Like, I'm struggling with comparisonitis and I don't feel, I'm begging for their help. And I got like the Hugo girls, or Hugo girl, you rock. And I'm like, yeah, no
you could
shit,
get that anywhere.
Like, yeah,
well,
like,
why do you have to join this group to get that?
I'm like, I could message 10 of my closest friends and they would say the same thing to me.
Yeah.
But I was looking for a
the
mentor, a next level, and also somebody who understands me, because also at the same time, like, we're in our own little world, entrepreneurs are. Yes. We're a little bit like, people don't get us all the time, because we do live a different life than people who go to a 9-to-5. Yeah. You know, and so I needed to hear like some positive affirmations or some actual tips, like pick yourself up off the ground and quit, you know, being a baby, and remember your self-worth, remember who you are, remember that you made it here in the first place. But now I got, you rock.
Yeah.
Like, so that was discouraging, and that was the point where I was like, I think when I get back home, changes are going to be made, and that's when changes started being made. Yeah.
And I mean, it happens. You're not alone. I told you about my mentor, who also was in the same situation as you are, made a big investment and was not delivered what was promised to her, and it was a waste of money for her. But you can also look at it, and it builds character. And so, like, coming out of that, you are smarter, you're stronger. What else would you think that you learned from that experience?
It was a good experience. The letdown, you know, like, you're gonna be let down. I had just gotten back from the blocks where I was learning, one of the days we learned about like pivoting, and that failure is gonna happen. We had a whole like interview process where we were being interviewed on failure, and I was literally saying like, I don't know that I've been through any. And I was like, in a weird way, I was like, oh, okay, this is my moment. You know, this is my moment of failure. But as I said earlier, like, wanting to get into more mentorship and like help coach beauty courses and maybe sometime down the road business courses, you know. I learned what not to do, and I learned to just not trust just anybody. I will, like, as soon as I got back, I feel like I had multiple people reaching out to me to want to sign on with them something. If I pay this much, they're going to help my business grow this much. I think that before this, I probably would have been like, you promise? Okay. Where now I'm like, no.
More
if
savvy.
You want me to like even hear you out, you better like send me some actual. From everything that I've been told, you're gonna run into these things. I think it could have been a lot worse. I'm so thankful when I hear like from super like successful people who are like, you know, damn near tipping to the billions, talking about
millions of dollars that they lost.
Yes, and I'm like, oh.
Like, kill me right now.
In the first like 10 years, like I made $10, but I put in like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm like, oh geez, that gives me such bad anxiety.
Win big, lose big.
But I mean, obviously the thing is at the end of the day, you just keep going, and you just learn from the mistake. Don't keep making it, you know. You just have to, you know, keep showing up for yourself every day and keep doing the thing, and you know.
But you're going to make an amazing mentor, because like you said, you know what not to do, you know how to show up for your mentorees, or whatever you would call them. So that's going to help you. And I had told you, like, if you ever do want another mentor in the future, and you guys probably already know too that are listening to this, Tanya Fornerod with Just the Strip, she's somebody that has like proof and evidence that she's done the thing in relation to people that are in our industry, in the beauty industry. And so I think she actually does free discovery calls, but I have a coaching call with her on Monday, and so I'm excited about that, because I'm trying to figure out what my big move is. So trying to get some specific like advice on that. So that's someone that I really trust if anyone is looking for a mentor in our industry. And I don't think that you need one. I think you've already made those big moves, and you've gained a lot from what you already did. Like you said, you did still benefit from it, right? So I think like well equipped. You probably don't need another mentor right now.
I'm like, at least not right now.
No, you're like, I'm done.
But I do admire like those, you know, the podcasters and stuff. Well, anybody who's giving, I hate to say it, but like the free information. Like I definitely am like big on like learning from every avenue that I possibly can. Even conversations that you and I have, just literally just being us conversating, you know, I feel like I still take away a lot.
Same.
You know?
And you have access to a group with the blocks, right?
I do, yeah.
So if you have an entrepreneurial or business question, you can go into there and get free help from your community.
It was honestly amazing. As soon as I got back, it was like we all started following each other, and immediately like my like following went up. I don't want to say it's anything crazy because it's definitely not. Like these people at the blocks were like, I'm gonna have to delete 1,000 people just to make room for you guys, because I guess Facebook you can only have a max of 5,000.
Yeah.
I was like, didn't know that because I've never been even close to that. But I was like, oh wow, that's so cool. And then they hype you up. They're like, girl, so proud of you. Look at you go. I'm still communicating with several of them that are giving me advice. Yes. And one good little tiny nugget of advice that I just got the other day from one of them was like, you know, she's just checking in on me. How are you doing? And I was like, hey, I'm doing really good. I think that I got so excited when I got back from filming. I started trying to instantly implement as much as I could because I wanted to put it out there, because I was like retaining it at the time and I don't want to lose that momentum. And so she was like, well, how's it going? And I said, to be honest with you, it's busy. I'm like trying to implement too much and I feel like I hit a burnout because I'm just trying to do too much. I feel like I'm nonstop. If I'm not actually physically doing my job, then I'm working on something that's going towards, you know, the principal. And she was like, Ashley, she's like, there's no time limit on success. She's like, you don't have to rush it. Yeah. And it was like, those are the most simplest words.
Yeah.
But it was like, I needed to hear that. Like, you're right. And I remember like closing my book or my MacBook and being like, I'm actually going to step away from, because I'm trying to design a website and I'm not tech savvy, so it's taking me way longer than it should, the normal person. And I'm too cheap to hire somebody because I just spent all this money on this program. But like, you know, so I was like, yeah, you're right. I really don't have to rush this.
Yeah.
If it takes me 6 months to put it out there, then it takes me 6 months to put it out there. Like, why do I have to hurry up and do this?
Right.
And so taking those nights off, those evenings off, instead of like coming home from work and then getting right to it, it was nice, you know. And yeah, it was just like this tiniest little nugget of information. It was like,
that reminds me, some quote that I saw is like, you don't have to be productive all the time in order to be successful. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you need the rest in order to operate at your best capacity, because you will become overproductive and then you'll burn yourself out and you won't have the clear head to think in that creative space that you need to, or think in the logical space that you need to. And that's something that I've also had to implement as well. Like I actually had a dream the other night that I took an extra day off work during the week.
Maybe you need to.
It's a sign, because I take Sundays and Mondays off. I had a dream that like I started taking off Fridays or whatever. And I'm like, why did I dream about that? But
because maybe you need it.
Yeah, maybe I need it.
We had talked at that like female speaking, you know, thing that we had done, and that was one of the things I had said, like towards the tail end of what I was talking about, was like, you cannot like suffocate your dream or your plan. Like you can't like hold it so tight that you can't see like opportunities around you, like that are trying to impede on like what you're, you know, what you're trying to do. Sometimes the universe is trying to say like, hey, nope, we need to go in this direction, but we're so hyper focused on this damn dream or goal that we're just like, we're tuning all other things out. And that, I think, is what I was
doing. We're just like hitting the hammer over and over and over, like give it a fucking break.
Exactly. Like I was definitely hitting like a burnout. Like I was just like, oh yeah, 24/7. And I felt like,
and I could tell that with you, because like I knew you were doing that. You were literally busy all the time. You couldn't even go home and rest. You were just like so busy because you were trying to hit it hard. You're a new entrepreneur with the, you know, the employees and the storefront, the salon, and everything that you have. And yeah, like sometimes we have to recognize where our energies are going and recognize where our energy is needed.
Yep.
And in order to do that, like we have to cut off energies with other things And
because it's like even your relationship with your business can be toxic if you don't give boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really nice. I started taking Thursdays off. I spend time with my daughter. Really needed that. Like, I'm struggling with the fact that she's going to be turning 5 and she's going to be going to kindergarten, and with my other 2, like, I was a stay-at-home mom, and with her I've been a full-time working mom, and like I felt some mom guilt about that. So having this time before she does go into school, and at least like catching that before it was too late, to like have at least this one day a week where it's just her and I and we spend time together. And
that's good. I'm glad, because you don't get, well, we all evolve and change, and there's definitely not, you know, I'm only into my 2nd year of entrepreneurship too, and there's things that I recognize about myself, and I'm sure along the way, like, I will recognize things about myself that I do need to change or that I can be better at. We're gonna have to make mistakes, and we learn. And so I kind of feel something about me is like, I kind of always want to be right also. So it's gonna be interesting when I do expand and like bring on employees and stuff, because you're gonna have to put your trust in other people, and you're gonna have to work with other people, and you know, serve them as they serve you, and so that's going to be something
I think you're going to do freaking so great at it. Like, I think you are beyond ready for that.
And I mean, I have help. I have help from you. I have help from Tanya. But yeah, I like to see just the evolution of each other, and I think that's the best thing you can do as an entrepreneur, just be very self-aware of your, you know?
I know. I remember when the girls were telling me that you had went, Claudia and Lene were telling me that you had went looking for a space, and that they had told you that I probably had a space, and I was like telling my husband, I was like, oh my god, I hope that she comes to the salon. I was like, not even for like the financial help of things, I was like, I'm gonna learn so freaking much from her. And I like start pulling up like your Instagram. I'm like, look at her work, look at how she is. Like,
immediately when I came, I was like, yep, this is it.
It was like so perfect.
I don't know if you got that by my first visit, but I was like, yeah, this is it.
I was like, thank God, because I had been watching you from afar and just kind of like admiring like just how you did everything. And like I had told my husband, I was like, I feel like I need her right now. And it's so true. I think I really needed you this year.
And
because
same.
You've been so helpful.
Because you like, I don't know, you just have, and I don't know if you feel this way about yourself, but you just have the balls to just fucking do it.
I don't, but then it's like, when I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, sure I did. But you know what I mean?
You didn't know how to do it. You learned along the way. Like, you opened up your salon storefront. You learned, because you were just in it. You made the choice, and you're like, this is what I need. I need to get a business license. Do this, 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 this. And I was like, oh, I need a salon license.
Thanks, you know who, for that one.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, no, it was the most perfect thing like to happen, and I'm excited to watch you like grow and do your thing, because you are gonna do incredible things, and I'm so glad to like get to know you on this level so that I can like forever watch you, because I had already told you this, like there is a reason that like you came into my life, and maybe vice versa, but I know like incredible things are gonna happen, and you're gonna blow the hell up.
We're entrepreneur besties for life.
Yeah,
like
100%. Yeah, and it's funny because we're both like, I forget that I'm an esthetician because you're on another like the other side of esthetician.
It's skincare.
Yeah, and I do like the lashes and stuff, and it's like, but we are like both estheticians in entrepreneurship, just going in different paths of like the whole industry, and that's kind of cool.
It's crazy like how many different ways you can go in this industry as well.
Yeah, I know. I think that's why I'm so freaking passionate about it, because it is so like the like I've heard it for a million years, like, oh, you're a lash artist, like, oh, you know what I mean? Right. But it's like, you have no idea like how many opportunities being in this industry it creates. You can really do whatever you want with it. You can keep it at doing skincare, you can work for somebody else, you can start your own business, you can create a line of products.
You can literally wax just coochies and make 7 figures.
100%, yeah.
I know somebody that does.
Yeah, and it is so amazing, like you can really do so much, and I think that because stepping into this industry at a time when I was like going through one of the hardest times of my entire life, both mentally and emotionally and financially, and having to like really figure it out. Like, I think that this was like my saving grace, because there was no limit on it. I didn't have like any, you know, I can only do this. No, I had to just start continuously creating new avenues to make money in order to, like, you know, keep the power on in my house. And so knowing what I know about this industry, knowing like if I can help other women who have stepped in it that are kind of confused and don't know what direction they want to go in, like I can be hopefully a mentor to say, hey, maybe you don't love doing skin, but maybe you love doing this, or maybe you don't love lashes, that's fine, but the waxing coochie, you know what I mean? Like, you're great at kind of like help people realize like there's so much more to like hyper focusing on one specific service, or even a handful of them, you know. So.
And you will become that person, because that's who I look for, is people who have done it, who've owned businesses, who've led people. Like, and same for me, even if it's not in another 10 years, we will be recognized because we're in it, we're doing the things, and we're going to be able to have the tools to help people.
100%. So, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, thank you for coming.
So much for having me.
So, as usual, I'll see you guys next Monday, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, for another episode. Bye.
Bye.